Something wonderful is happening to me right now. Something wonderful is happening to me right now. I accept things the way they are. I accept things the way they are not. Something wonderful is happening to me right now. I love wasting. I love wasting. I can breathe. I reap abundantly. I already have everything I need. Wonderful is happening to me right now. Don't you feel it? Something wonderful is happening to me right now. Oh yeah, I accept things the way they are. I will. I accept things the way they are not. Something wonderful is happening to me right now.
Good morning. Welcome to the center. Have a great day. It's going to be a great day.
It's going to be a great day. It's hot.
A great welcome to our center. Hope you have a very blessed day, everybody.
We're celebrating our 43rd anniversary. And,
Gee, he's been married 43 years.
Yep.
What you say?
If I add up all my marriages, I won't add up to that, no matter if I lived to be 140.
Yeah, and our family gave us a year, and our best friends gave us only 6 months. Or not us, the two of us, but this one right here. You see?
Isn't she beautiful? Come here, Kira. Come here. Come here. We're taking pictures right here. There you have the evidence.
This is video, so you gotta talk
This
to
is
me.
video.
Cannot deny it.
You have to
Video.
talk to me.
Oh my
So,
goodness!
so
Look
how
at
long
this.
have you two lost?
All
No,
right.
we're
Please lower your heads, everyone, or I should say lower your eyes. In the silence, I feel the presence and the peace of God. Jesus went to the mountaintop to pray. He left the crowds and his disciples to be fully present in the silence. As you close your eyes and you begin to center on this beautiful, sacred sanctuary, and you begin to feel the presence of God, allow my words to become your thoughts as I read from the daily word. My mountaintop retreat may be symbolic as I seek a time apart, whether in a center like ours, a favorite chair, or quiet moments carved out from a hectic schedule. I spend time in silent communion with God. In the silence, I turn within to a private meeting place. In this inner chamber, away from all outer distractions, I pray, meditate, and I listen. I am open and receptive to the still, small voice, to inspiration, to divine direction. Here in sacred oneness, I feel the assurance and peace of God. I relax my body, gently set aside my concerns, focus on my breathing, and allow myself to be enfolded in divine love. In the silence, there is a peace as I let go and I let God. And I ask that each of you now take a moment in the silence. Allow your heart to open and allow that true essence, which is nothing less than God, to shine through. And I'll bring you back when it's time. Thank you, everyone, and namaste. And as I stand here, I recognize that there's only one power, one essence, one God. This power is invisible, but I can feel it. I feel it in my soul. I feel it in my skin. This power has the essence of everything I need. This power is pure essence of love, harmony, wisdom, guidance. It has the power to change, and I allow it to change me. As I look within, I become that which I want. I become that which I desire. As I stand here, I declare that I am grateful to be alive, that I am grateful to be here today. Today, I declare that if my heart is broken, I look within and allow the essence of love, my higher self, to comfort and nurture my broken self. As I stand here, I declare that if it is lonely or I feel alone, I go within and I allow my higher self to guide me and take me to a place where I am loved and I am welcome. If there is a lack or a limitation in my life, I go within and I know and I trust that my higher self is always abundant and it takes me and guides me to my proper thinking. If there is anger, judgment, resentment, I go within and I ask my higher self to help me forgive, to help me see the love within every human being. As I stand here, I declare that I am me, I am human, but that it is an inner power that it can change me, that it can change everything. I am so grateful for this power. I am so grateful for this intelligence. I am so grateful for allowing myself to choose to listen, to choose to change my life, to choose to be better. It is a journey, and I welcome it as I know that every limitation on every blockade in my life is just a stepping stone for my greatest best. I am so grateful for this teaching that allows me to change my life. I am so grateful for my ministers, that they support me and guide me. I am so grateful for the music. I am so grateful for the center, for everybody that came. I am so grateful for everything that is in my life and everything that is not in my life. I am so grateful for being me today here. And if these words resonate with you, please take them in your soul. And as I release my word to the law, I know that this law does everything I ask as long as I believe. I believe all is possible. I believe I can do it. Therefore, it is already done. And I can say, and so it is.
Christina, absolutely amazing prayer. Tina, beautiful centering. It's a beautiful day. Patty, wonderful. And all of you are beautiful.
I pay you to say that.
You do?
Yes, I do.
No. It's the absolute truth. I'd say it even if you didn't pay me. Oh, jeez. So my name is Stacy Hilton. I am one of the co-ministers along with Reverend Dan, who disappeared, and Reverend Cheryl Bell. And the theme for the month is open communication. Open communication. You know, I love, Aldo and Christina, I love that you do this Global Heart of Peace. I love it because we're participating with other centers. So it magnifies the experience. Our goal at CSL, Kay Bowman. Hey, is that you? Hi. Sorry. It magnifies the experience because all of us are doing the same thing. And so that ripple effect reaches more people. Our goal at CSL is to touch or transform 100 million lives. That's a lot of lives. But I think we're up to it. Yes? Yes. Yeah. So open communication. Why, the themes this year are actually based on Center for Spiritual Living's values. So our shared values, one of them is open communication. And a lot of people thought that it was an odd thing for us to talk about. Some of the ministers on their blog were saying, open communication, but you're talking about racism and you're talking about all this diversity and why is that? And we don't want to talk about that. We don't want to go into political things. Well, we're not being political. We're just talking about social issues. So please don't think of them as us being political. So my talk title today is The Art of Collusion. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. You guys have to laugh. It's the art of inclusion. It's the art of inclusion. I had another joke there, but I won't go there. Ernest Holmes is the author of The Science of Mind textbook and the founder of religious science. It says in our Declaration of Principles, we believe the ultimate goal of life to be a complete freedom from all discord of every nature, and that this goal is sure to be attained by all. We there yet?
No. But we're working on it.
We're working on it, right? One person at a time, right? And I can't change your mind. It starts here. With each of us, it starts with us. Yes?
Yes.
Another quote by Dr. Holmes, God is all there is. God includes everything, all possibility, and all action. For spirit is the indivisible essence and substance of all form. God includes everything. Frequently we get books. We're recommended some books from the people that write up these talk titles and things. And this month, the book was called Gracism. And so Gracism, Reverend Dan's talk last week was about From Racism to Gracism. Beautiful talk, Reverend Dan. Thank you for that. And, Gracism was about putting God back into the equation. Because somewhere God has gotten out of the equation. God or grace. So instead of racism, it's Gracism. And this book, it's interesting, because at first I was like, not sure. And the more I read it, and the more I took off my lens, my Science of Mind lens and religious science background, and looked at, because this is written by Reverend David Anderson, who's pretty fundamental Christian. And we are applied Christianity, so we believe in the teachings of Christ. We believe in the love and all the good stuff, and not the religious, necessarily the religious part of what man has made Christianity into, I will say. And so in that, he has a little different sway on things. And we all get to have a different sway on things, right? That's why we're individuals. And the more I read through, I took what I like, which is what we always say here, take what you like, and leave what you don't like. So I particularly like this, and it's in a chapter called The Art of Inclusion. Imagine that. So this is, and I'm not sure what version it is. It's 1 Corinthians 12, 14 through, verses 14 through 27. And I'm reading it from here because the Bible that I use didn't sound anything like this. So I'm just going to take it from here. So I'm sorry, I don't know the version. Now I want you, when I read this, I want you to think about this, because this Corinthians is written by Paul, the Apostle Paul. And think about this in regards to race, culture, and class in our current society. So put on some new ears if you need to. Now the body is not made up of one part, but of many. If the foot should say, because I am not a hand, I do not belong to the body, it would not for that reason cease to be part of the body. And if the ear should say, because I'm not an eye, I do not belong to the body, it would not for, And if the ear should say, because I am not an eye, I do not belong to the body, it would not for that reason cease to be part of the body. If the whole body were an eye, where would the sense of hearing be? If the whole body were an ear, where would the sense of smell be? But in fact, God has arranged the parts of the body, every one of them, just as God wanted them to be. If they were all one part, where would the body be? As it is, there are many parts, but one body. The eye cannot say to the hand, I don't need you. And the head cannot say to the feet, I don't need you. On the contrary, those parts of the body that seem to be weaker are indispensable. And the parts that we think are less honorable, we treat with special honor. And the parts that are unpresentable are treated with special modesty, while our presentable parts need no special treatment. But God has combined the members of the body and has given greater honor to the parts that lacked it, so that there should be no division in the body, but that its parts should have equal concern for each other. If one part suffers, every part suffers with it. If one part is honored, every part rejoices with it. Now you are the body of Christ, and each one of you is part of it. Isn't that nice? Race, culture, and class. We're all different. We all look different. We're not all different, but we all look different. That's what makes it a beautiful garden. So how do we start being inclusive of everyone and everything? Again, it starts with me. I know that. And I tend to want to start out there. Well, they're doing that, and they're doing that. You know, you can't look at the mirror and fix the mirror, right? You start here. So I start and I begin to tell the truth about those things that maybe I'm not inclusive about. I think I'm pretty prone to practice, and I should say the art and practice of inclusion, because it is a practice. Practice makes it an art, and it's something that you have to do on a daily basis sometimes. But there are some things and some people, and let's say people with purple noses. Somebody with a purple nose did something to me when I was in the 2nd grade, so I have an issue with people with purple noses. Is it understandable?
Yes.
Does it make it true that all people with purple noses are bad?
No.
But my thought is, if I'm trying to change 100 million lives and I have an issue with people with purple noses, then I'm not creating a world that works for everyone. I've got to tell the truth about how I feel about people with purple noses. We have to have a deeper understanding of one another. So often we don't know people's histories, people's backgrounds. We come from this society with the people with red noses, and we don't know the people with purple noses. We don't know anything about them. And so how do we connect? Well, this is a place to start, right? None of you have purple noses, I don't think. If you do, I love you. So we've got to learn to acknowledge that we may have prejudice. We may have some issues leaning towards racism. I'm not saying it's not understandable, like I just said. Somebody may very well have done to you, and you might have an issue with that. But look at it and move through it. Don't just ignore it and separate yourself off. Being one with each other is why we're here on this planet. And we don't see things changing because we want to cover it up. I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to look at the people with the purple noses. I know they hurt me. I don't want to look at it. I don't want to forgive them. I just want them to stay over there and I'm going to stay over here. And how is that working for us? Because by what I'm looking at, I don't see that it's working. We may have grown up with thoughts. Might not even be my own thought about the people with the purple noses. But my parents had an issue because they got beat up by the person with the purple nose. Gee, say that. They got beat up and so they passed that down to me. I passed that along to me. And I'm now 51 years old and I'm still carrying something that's not even mine. We've got to acknowledge and look at who we are, where maybe we've been misinformed, and adjust our thinking. There's seeds that were planted, and we want to, our tendency, from what I see as I'll say as a nation, but as a world, as a human being, we want to fix the effect and not realize that I planted tomato seeds. These are the seeds that were planted. Maybe I didn't even plant them. But tomato seeds were planted, and now you have tomatoes, but you wanted watermelon. And so you're mad that you don't have watermelon. It's kind of ridiculous. And so we've got to begin to work together and plant new seeds. We've got to do this. So start telling the truth about how you feel. Acknowledge it. It's okay. It's okay. Start there. Secondly, seek first to understand, then to be understood. Prayer of St. Francis. This past week, actually, I guess Friday, this is a long week. Yesterday seemed like a week. So this past week, occasionally I practice real estate. Not very much anymore because I'm a minister and that's what my joy is. But occasionally I practice some real estate. And it was one gentleman that lived on the east side in a condo, about 1,000 square feet. And he met me through somebody else and said, well, come over and look at my place. I don't think it's worth very much. I only want $27,000 for it. I'm like, okay. So I went over and I looked at it. And before I did the comps, I'm like, 27 is a stretch. But but I did the comps and it was actually worth a little more. But when I walked in, there was I don't know how big, but in the ceiling there is a huge stain on the wall with black spots. Huge water stain with mold. And so then I said, that's a problem. And so he said, well, let me show you more. And so I went to the second bedroom, and I'm like, 27, whew, okay. I went to the second bedroom, and he opened up the closet, and there's a huge hole in the closet. And his clothes were damaged and stuff, and more black spots. And then I went he showed me the master bathroom with more water damage and more mold. And my heart just like, what? You need to get out of here. You need to get out of here. I said, this is a condo, so why aren't they fixing this place for you? And this condo fee, and its HOA dues were $254 a month. $254 a month. There were 3 pools. None of the pools were open. The clubhouse was closed. The barbecue pits didn't work. I mean, I could go on and on and on. And he said, well, the HOA said that they're not going to fix them. I said, okay. Have you contacted an attorney? You know what the answer was there. And so I said, okay, well, let's just get you out of here. Let's just get you out of here. I went home, I did the comps, and you know, I figured we could probably get maybe $40-something thousand for the place. And he's like, I really just only went out 27, so if you list it that high, nobody's gonna buy it. I said, I guarantee you, somebody will buy this house within a couple of days. So of course, when I went on, before I went to Canada, I said, well, let's just wait till I get back, because then, you know, I'll be here to help you with the offers that come in, and nobody's gonna buy it, just go ahead and put it on the market. I did as he wished. Of course, as soon as I get to Canada, I have 5 offers on the property, cash offers. So he's thrilled, and it's great. And so Friday, Wednesday, we signed all the paperwork, and he doesn't know how the process works, right? So he's thinking he's gonna get a check the next day, and he's really in desperate need of this check. And he wants to be home for his sister's birthday, which is this coming Wednesday. He doesn't have a car, so I'm driving back and forth because I've got to, so if he doesn't have a car, he doesn't have a computer, he doesn't have access to get his documents, so I'm driving back and forth from Summerlin to the east side, and back and forth and back and forth, and I'm telling my broker this story, and he's like, why are you doing that for, you know, I don't know how much the commission is, but is that the point? Why am I doing that? Because I'm a nice person, because I'm a minister? Possibly. But the point is this gentleman, he's in need. I have a way to help. So why not help? Why not help? Have I ever been without a car? Have I ever been down on my luck? Have I ever needed a few dollars to get through the week? And so Friday, he's stressing because he's thinking his check would have been here Thursday, and it's a whole big convoluted cluster, and I'm and I'm doing a wine demo, and I had called and asked for a special favor from the escrow company, and I said, could you please just get this gentleman his check? He is desperate. And so at 5 minutes to 5, as I'm standing at the wine table, okay, come get the check. Which escrow never does, by the way, on a Friday afternoon at 5 o'clock. But they felt and they did what they could do to help the situation. See, that's what we can do. Even before that, in talking to the realtor, because I'm talking to him, the guy doesn't have this, the guy doesn't have that, and this doesn't that, and this is that, and this is working. He's like, and how is that my problem? He didn't say that, but that was kind of the tone. And then he saw, he got the keys, and the gentleman explained his story, and he said, let me see what I can do to help with escrow. And so I'm at the wine table, 5 o'clock, and I'm there till 7, and escrow says, well, if you can get here by 5:30. And so Reverend Cheryl was driving my car, because her car is out of commission right now. And I said, Cheryl, can you do me a favor? Can you go pick up this guy's check? And she said, of course. And so I called him, I said, I can't get to you. I have to be at my church tomorrow all day, and can you just find a ride? And his father-in-law said, of course. And so that $28,000 check was delivered to him at 7:30 on Friday night, or picked up by him from me at 7:30 on Friday night. And so he will be home to see his sister on Wednesday. But that's how it works. It takes all of us to be in agreement, to say, yes, I will help people that are on the fringes. And there are a lot of them right now. You know, Taya's doing this thing for the homeless. I've lived here 15 years. I've never seen this many homeless in this town. I could be wrong. Maybe I could have been blind. But I think that it's happening more and more. You look at the diversity in classes and how much money some people have and how little other people have. It's like, well, it's kind of like the housing market. This bubble, something's going to happen here. And so we are each called upon to help. I'm reminded of Reverend Cynthia, the founder of the center, whenever I could call when there's something going on. And I'd tell her my story. And it was just simple, how can I help? It's all, how can I help? Listen, seek first to understand. I still don't know the gentleman's story necessarily with the big hole in the thing, and I don't know why the HOA didn't do this and that and that. It doesn't matter. I had a way that could help. That's extending grace. Page 44 in this book called Gracism. I don't think Cheryl bought it for the bookstore, it's just for us, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So 7 sayings of a gracist. Special honor. Lifting up the humble among us. And say, I will lift you up. Special modesty. Protecting the most vulnerable among us from embarrassment. I will cover you. No special treatment. Refusing to accept special treatment if it is at the detriment of others who need it. I will share with you. Greater honor. God, as a gracist, has given greater honor to the humble. I will honor you. No division. It's a big one. When the majority helps the minority and the stronger help the weaker. It's gracism. It keeps us from division within the body, an opposite view than normal. I will stand with you. Equal concern. Having a heart as big for our neighbors as we do for ourselves. I will consider you. Rejoices with it. When the humble or less honorable are helped, we are to rejoice with them. It's easier to weep with those who weep than to rejoice with those who rejoice. I will celebrate with you. Yesterday, we had the great fortune of having, I think, almost 40 ministers and practitioners here for the oral panels. And we have 5 new practitioners, which is amazing, right? Yes. 5 new practitioners. Could you guys stand up? Those of you that are here. Give them a hand. I thank you all for answering the call. I'm very proud to have been on this journey with each of you. And I love you. And I know that you will do great things. And in that mood of celebration, we had one that she's almost ready, but she's not ready yet. So that made for a little different day than I was planning on, right? We got one not quite ready yet. And I'm very grateful for the panels for recognizing that, for that makes us in integrity with who we are. And so I'm very grateful for that. And I know that person will come back and she's just this close. And at this time, in the very near future, that she will be ready. And she's so loving and graceful and sweet. And as she was coming out, her second panel, because the process is you panel, and if you don't pass, you panel again. And so she had a second panel. And I walked out with her and I said, how'd it go? She said, I think it went good. She said, but even if I fail, I've learned a lot. So it's been worth it. That's grace. That's grace in action. And to see all of her colleagues just be there for her. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful experience. Our Ministry of Prayer team is probably one of the most diverse teams around. I mean, if you really look at how we look on the outside. We're pretty much all the same on the inside, right? Big hearts. People that want to serve. People that are loving, people that are kind. And then we had our team, and then we had the team from Harmon who came and they spent their time and their talent to be over here with us. And then we had Southern Nevada with 15 people here to support. That's what we do. We gotta support one another. Not because we're just really deciding. It just doesn't stop here on Sunday morning. I can't emphasize that enough. It's gotta go out. And I know it does. I know each of you pretty much, and I know that your hearts go and you help people and you do things. It's like, well, how can I encourage other people to help and do things? Just show them who you are. Just show them who you are. So this week, think about, where can I tell the truth about myself? Where is it that I'm needing to look and I'm not wanting to look? And this week is the week where I'm going to change that. I'm going to make a conscious effort to look at that dark place. And I'm going to tell the truth about it. I'm going to move forward from it. And if I need help, I'm going to call one of my beautiful practitioners. There are now 18 of us. 18. When I started, there were 4. You're going to call one of those beautiful practitioners and you're going to ask them for prayer. Or you're going to call one of your ministers and ask for counsel. So that's your assignment for this week. And if you've done that, you've told the truth about it, then look at where you can seek first to understand and then be understood. When you're looking at something and it doesn't make sense, do you feel like you've got a little judgment about it? Maybe ask the person. Maybe try to get some information. Because I guarantee you, people are not in precarious positions just because they want to be most times. So maybe you can, like Reverend Cynthia, just say, how can I help? So let's all practice the art of inclusion this week. I love you, I appreciate you, and I celebrate you.
Just a couple of things. I'm so moved by this weekend and so blessed to be a part of Reverend Cynthia. Reverend Cynthia's name has come up a lot today. It's been in the song, she loved that song. And yesterday, events like yesterday meant so much to her, to see new practitioners and new ministers. And of course, Genevieve was one of her favorites. She kind of discovered Patty, and she's sort of responsible for this mess. But I just look at the centering that was done today, Tina, and the prayer that you did. And I know Stacy mentioned this earlier. Stacy's talk. My God, I mean, that's so amazing. And so I have felt Reverend Cynthia this weekend a lot, and Reverend Stacy noticed something yesterday, which we know. Well, first of all, Reverend Cynthia can't keep her nose out of our business. And whenever there's a major event here, we always go, oh God, she's here. But something happened yesterday, and I wanted to make sure you shared that.
I had the practitioner students we were all going to pray up together. So we were in Cheryl in my office. And we were all praying up, the 6 of us, 7 of us, and 8 of us. The 8 of us were praying up, and Reverend Cheryl and Reverend Dan went out first, and they set up the chamber prayer. And we came in after. But as we're coming in and we're walking across through the Happy Baby room, we see a hummingbird. I've never seen a hummingbird. It's all 7 years that we've been in this complex. I've never seen a hummingbird around here. But just saw the hummingbird right there. Reverend Cynthia was here.
She was here. And so we just thank her for the wonderful work that she did, the wonderful work that she started here and continues to support us in. And I just wanted to acknowledge you, Reverend Cynthia, so thank you.
So I thought, since we're being inclusive today and every day, that we could do a chamber prayer for our congregants. So a chamber prayer is where we do, each of us, a 5-step treatment. And we lift you up and we celebrate you and we love you up. And you'll be good till next Sunday. Everybody's good with that? Even our newbies over there? Of course they are. All right. So let's begin. So it is. Let's stand and sing our peace song.